Joil, a pioneer in Jatropha research and technology through its path-breaking research, has evolved elite varieties and hybrids with desirable commercial traits of higher yields, short gestation period, pest and disease tolerance, oil content, etc. Joil's expertise in biotechnology and genetic engineering is being used to achieve significant increases in desirable plant traits. The trials in India are being undertaken on marginal lands with survival irrigation. Joil's open-pollinated varieties JOS1 and JOS2 have been stabilized for their canopy architecture, uniform stand and for consistent and higher yield levels. Joil also has a strong pipeline of varieties and hybrids which have been bred for various commercial traits. Tall growing types for normal planting density to short stature types suitable for high density planting, short duration and long duration types, varieties and hybrids having seed weight ranging from 0.4 to 1 gram per seed. Joil's strength also lies in its in-depth knowledge and expertise in processing technologies pertinent to the various value addition propositions of Jatropha byproducts. Pathways to produce detoxified kernel meal, a potential source of protein in feed formulations, natural wax, biopesticides and fuel briquettes have been standardized and are in advanced stages of pre-commercial trials. Technology to process detoxified Jatropha oil for applications in industrial chemicals sector is also under pre-commercial trials. Mettupalayam is 40 kilometers north of Coimbatore. This region receives an average annual rainfall of 600 to 650 mm, which is bimodal in distribution. The average maximum temperature is 37 degrees Celsius and the average minimum temperature is 21 degrees Celsius. The soil in this region is predominantly red loam with gravel and with moderate fertility. Mettupalayam Site 1 has an extent of 6.6 acres and the plants in the CSO are more than 5 years old. Various other agronomic trials like spacing, intercropping and breeding trials are also undertaken at this site. Commercial seed orchards of two of Joil's elite seed-derived varieties, JOS1 and JOS2, are being maintained at this site. JOS1 and JOS2 are open-pollinated varieties with the traits of self-branching, uniformity in stand, early and precocious flowering and higher yield levels. The plants are 1.5 years old where the self-branching, uniform and abundant flowering pattern could be observed. The yield in the first year was 2 to 2.4 tons per hectare. These are 2.5-year-old plants showing the consistent and abundant flowering pattern. The yield in the second year was 3.2 to 3.4 tons per hectare. These are around 5-year-old plants showing uniform, consistent and abundant flowering and fruiting pattern. The yield in the third year was 3.5 to 4.5 tons per hectare and yields in the fourth and fifth years were 4.5 to 5 tons per hectare. This being the first flowering and fruiting season of the year, it can be observed that these plants have at 100 to 120 inflorescences which can potentially yield 1 kg seeds per plant, translating to 2.5 tons per hectare. The second harvest season during November-December would contribute at 3 tons per hectare, taking the total yield to 5 to 5.5 tons per hectare for this year. The harvested seeds are shade-dried, packed and stored at cold storage houses which prolong viability of the seeds. Joil has standardized various propagation technologies for large-scale multiplication. The methodologies include propagation through seeds, cuttings and softwood grafting. The saplings thus raised in the nursery are used in various trials across different geographic locations. Metupalayam Site 2 has an extent of 2.5 acres. Performance evaluation and hybrid testing trials of Joil's varieties and hybrids are being carried out in this site. Hybrid testing trial is being conducted to test the combining ability and gene action of South American accessions under Asian geography and climate. Consistency in flowering and abundant fruit set can be observed in Joil's elite varieties. The number of fruits per bunch is in excess of 10 fruits, which is another promising trait that can be observed in Joil's elite varieties. Joil's varieties clearly outperform the local accessions. The local accessions do not show the kind of flowering and fruit set which is observed in Joil's elite varieties. Satyamangalam is located 70 kilometers northeast of Coimbatore. The region receives 700 mm of rainfall spread between two monsoonal seasons. The average maximum temperature is 37 degrees Celsius and the average minimum temperature is 21 degrees Celsius. The soil type ranges between black loam to red loam with gravel. The total area under trials is 22.46 acres spread across 7 sites. Satyamangalam Site 3 has an extent of 5.1 acres where evaluation and hybrid testing trials are currently being conducted. Pure line development is undertaken in this plot. The important characteristics of the selected lines include uniformity in stand, consistent performance across geographies, plant architecture, precocious flowering, pollen availability for longer periods, an important trait for hybrid development program, and more number of fruits per bunch. Audio Jungle. 0999 is a potential short duration variety of Jatropha suited for high density planting with an estimated yield potential of 10 tons per hectare. The plants are of short stature with profuse flowering and fruit set which is uniform and consistent across the plot. The height and span of the plants are less than 1 meter, which makes it amenable for high density planting. In the hybrid demonstration trials, 5 potential hybrids are currently being evaluated. The hybrids have desirable plant architecture and are early flowering. The hybrids have been selected for their higher levels of productivity, which is estimated to be around 30 to 40% higher than normal varieties. Satyamangalam Site 5 has an extent of 2.7 acres wherein spacing trial with intercrop, performance evaluation trial and polyploidy evaluation trial are being conducted. In the spacing trials, 4 of Joil's open pollinated varieties JOS1, JOS2, JOS3 and JOS4 are being evaluated for their yield levels in comparison to the local checks. Self-branching, early and precocious flowering and abundant fruit set can be noticed in all Joil varieties. It can also be observed that the local checks are without significant flowering and fruit set. Intercropping with sesame is being undertaken to assess the potential revenue generation opportunities in the initial years of plantation establishment. Choice of the intercrops is based on their compatibility with Jatropha ecosystem. Satyamangalam Site 7 has an extent of 2.5 acres wherein hybrid demonstration trial is in progress. The hybrids have in common a significant jump in their yield levels as compared to the open pollinated varieties. The hybrids have desirable plant architecture and are early flowering. The hybrids have been selected for their higher levels of productivity, which is estimated to be around 30 to 40% higher than the varieties. Joil's research and development initiatives hold the key to make Jatropha the preferred choice of crop over other comparable crops, which are presently being considered for biodiesel and other industrial applications.